Because somehow she was the one. I mean, I kind of expected her to be the one thing he would struggle against because lore-wise, she's like the only one who beat him. I'm just glad I finally found a decent and enjoyable Elden Ring build. Uh, Sorry, like I said, I don't know what I ate last night. I can't imagine it was anything too awful, but my stomach is just not agreeing with me today. Okay. Sorry, I had to find my. I had like a. Only in certain scripted situations. Like, just general rule of thumb, no, they don't attack each other, but. Um. Lore wise, because everybody hates the Tarnished. Because they can. I I don't know if they've ever actually explained it. I would assume in one of the bajillions of item descriptions, I'm sure it's said. But from what I understand from Body Video's explanation of it, is that in all the Souls games, the entities just know when the Chosen One is present. So, like in Dark Souls 1, the Chosen Undead, all the enemies can sense the presence of the Chosen Undead, and so they instinctively attack him. Dark Souls 3 would be a little bit more cohesive because Dark Souls 3, the enemies are like aware of the world around them. So, like for example, the bosses you fight all have sentience, and in the case of, I would actually say Dark Souls 3 is a little bit better in regards to how it handles like enemies fighting each other and shit. Because in Dark Souls 3, you have like the Dark Wraiths will attack the Grus, um the in the Profane Capital, the Gargoyles can attack the various torch bearers and shit. And there's even a boss where the Abyss Watchers where the Abyss Watchers themselves are all fighting each other, and then you show up, and so the guy kind of turns to you because he just killed the last standing Abyss Watcher and attacks you, and then about, I want to say halfway through his health bar, some of the other Abyss Watchers start standing up, and a couple of them will help him, and then a couple of them will attack him, and so like there's a level of sentience in Dark Souls Three's world, so that one's a little bit more cohesive. In the case of Elden Ring, I guess
Well, I'm not as weak as I've always been.
it's because of the grace. Like the grace itself comes off the tarnish. And so I think the enemies can see the, well, they can't see the grace, but they can see the gold coming off of them. Because Dark Souls 2 is literally a dream. It is the dying vision of the Nameless King. It's really hard to explain it, but in Dark Souls 3, there is a boss called the Nameless King who is meant to be the forgotten son of Gwyn, who everybody thought was Solaire, which, I mean, I'll be honest, I was one of those people who thought it was Solaire too. But he was... Yeah, Solaire's Praise the Sun guy. I still think Solaire is one of Gwyn's children, just because of like a lot of the stuff that you can learn about him in the game. It very heavily hints that he has some connection to Gwyn, so if he's not his son, there is some kind of connection there. But the Nameless King, everybody believes to potentially be Ornstein, like the real Ornstein, not the one that we fight during the double fight in Dark Souls 1. It's a very confusing thing. Demon Souls is part of its own contained universe, but from what I remember from playing through the remake, they do all seem to know each other. Like the big bad of that game is aware that you are a presence, and because of the constant... What the hell do I get down there? No, that would kill me. Oh, okay. Come down here. Okay, I remember now. But, the way Demon Souls works is a little bit different because you're trying to literally harness the soul of demons to utilize them to... I don't even fucking remember her end game. It was something about controlling the fog or killing the fog or something like that. So according to this, we go back this way. It's kind of hard to explain the story of the Souls franchise without like, because Bloodborne is a painting, or no, Sekiro's the painting. Bloodborne is a nightmare. We don't know whose nightmare it was, but it's someone's nightmare, and a lot of people believe that it's Chester's nightmare. Yes, they are movies. Yeah, dude, can you chill? Can you chill, Igon?
The pain. The pain. Bale! Vile Bale!
Curse you, Bale!
There is life in me yet. I will soon feast upon your heart.
Well, yeah, it's the gothic horror based in what's essentially London. And it's also all the Eldritch inspiration. Now, normally Yeah, because Elden Ring is what I would argue is the culmination of the Souls franchise. After years of trying new things, doing things differently, Elden Ring is what I would say is like the perfected state of the Souls franchise. I don't think it's a perfect game. I want to clarify that with how I'm explaining it. I don't think Elden Ring is a perfect game by any measure, simply because uh, in order for, in my opinion, an RPG to be perfect, especially an action RPG, um, literally every weapon in the game needs to be viable to an extent. I'm not saying they need to be like super overpowered, like fucking two-shotting bosses, but if I want to use claws, for example, I should be able to use claws without having to essentially kill myself to get the build working. I should be able to have enough tools in the game to make it work, basically. Um, and there are a lot of yeah, that's what happens when you play as Radahn. But the problem is there are so many weapons in this game that are just filler weapons, is what I would refer to them as. They're not good, they're not pathetic, but you're not using nobody's using them in any builds. You can literally spend hours looking on the internet for builds in this game, and there are just several weapons that you are never going to see in any builds. Because well, I'm not talking about in the too good department. I'm talking about in the like there's just no way to make a build around them department. Mhm. Oh yeah, the bleed dagger is one of the most broken weapons in the game, and it's actually integral to several builds that involve daggers specifically. There's yeah, you can literally get it right at the beginning of the game, and I think that's why it exists. Is because if there's one thing that the Souls franchise has done right, it's that there is constantly something there to aid people who aren't like these professional gamer types. You're not going to get like a handout. It's not going to be a free win, but it's something to give you that leg up that you might need to give you that makes the difference between I'm quitting this game because it's too hard for me, or I can keep pushing on because I can do damage, kind of thing. Like, in what way were you struggling with three, or do you think three was like more compatible? What? Okay, struggling with it. Okay. What perchance were you struggling with, if you don't mind? I mean, yeah, I can see that happening. Dark Souls 3, I will argue, is way more linear than a lot of the other Souls games in that you can wander into, say, like. There's a very good noob trap in the Cathedral of the Deep where Gale is just prostrating himself in front of an altar, and if you don't know anything about the game, you will just get sucked right into the fucking DLC. And I can tell you right now, you don't want to go into you don't want to go into the painted world when you're just reaching the Cathedral of the Deep, and that's why he puts them there because he wants it to be a noob trap. But the thing with Dark Souls 3 that prevented me specifically from ever getting lost in it is that there's always a boss that prevents you from going to the next area. You I mean, that's fair. How far did you get? Do you remember the last boss you fought? Trying to think. A dragon swooping around. I know in the very first area of the game you teleport to, there's a dragon on a building that keeps breathing fire on you, but I'm trying to think of where there might have been one swooping. Oh, it's okay. Festive Grease. Oh, that's right. I remember that. It's just like a Yeah, that's I've noticed that's a lot of people's experience, and it's why when we were talking about it yesterday, I think it was. Um, I think it's really baffling to me that the Souls franchise has somehow like just accumulated into this is a solo franchise that you have to do everything solo because like at least for me and that's where it comes in that's the crux of it is that everybody's going to have a different experience and I'm not saying that someone else's experience is necessarily wrong or that mine is necessarily right but I mean that's fair yeah if you have friends that like flake on you that kind of ruins the experience like with I mean for me, I have over. I want to say between all my characters, including the ones I've deleted because I needed room to make new characters. I have well over 1,000 hours in this game, and I'm proud to say that I like, despite my gripes with the game, and despite where I struggle with the game, I will gladly keep coming back to this game, and I can't tell you why. I can't tell you why I will keep coming back to this game, despite the fact that I very clearly struggle with it. And yeah, the way that I try to do it when I know that, like, for example, I mean, I just said like 1,000 hours. So if I was to play with someone like you, for example, who I don't remember how far you said you got in Elden Ring, but uh, you're, yeah, hmm but yeah, so someone like me playing with someone like you, what I try to do in these situations is I will go out of my way to be like, okay, so obviously I know that I could just sit here and put on this weapon right here and just absolutely dick down the boss that's in front of us. But what I'll tend to do is I'll kind of just play more passive when fighting the boss. I'll let you take the aggro until you've taken enough hits that you need the heat off of you, and then I'll come over and I'll take the aggro, and I'll just kind of keep switching off like that. I won't use like for example, Margit. Margit, if you try to face tank Margit, that fight's going to take a bit for you to actually like learn how it works and get around it. However, if you have Margit's Shackle, which is a item you can pick up that gives you a couple seconds of him being on the ground and unable to move, you can get some hits in before he stands back up. So I won't use Margit's Shackle if I'm playing with somebody who's like brand new to the game or isn't super far in the game. Because you're not going to learn the Margit fight if I keep putting him on his knees every, couple of seconds. And it's like because I know that experience can suck when you have a guy who is just I'm gonna solo all this content despite the fact that you're standing here and this is your first experience. I'm gonna go wipe the floor with everything real quick. Hmm. Yeah. Well, Altus you can get to technically without fighting any bosses, but the Snowfield of the Giants or the Giants Peak, whatever the hell we want to call it, Mountaintop of the Giants, that's its name. That one you would need to have beaten Morgott and at least two other shard bearers before you could get there. So you probably weren't at the snowfields. Oh, that's right. I was looking for a Skidoo fragment that's supposed to be up here. Do we know where the next map fragment is? Yes, it's right up here. Yeah, Caelid isn't a fun spot, especially for new players. I, God damn it. Trying to do a cool thing, but I'm fucking terrible. Yeah, some of the dragons in Elden Ring are very hit or miss. Some of them can be fun. Some of them can make you want to put your head in the blender. But yeah, you can't disrespect the giant enemy crab. God, I swear I'm good at this game. There we go. Jesus. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's not literally Nokrin, but you were going into the Siofra well is where you were going. It's where you fight the ancestral spirit if you light all the torches. I don't think the vultures are down in the well, no. Oh, this guy respawns. Interesting. That's fair. I mean, I play it because I used to play Dark Souls 3 a shit ton, but unfortunately, Dark Souls 3. I don't want to say it's dead, but you can't find people to like help with bosses, or if you do get invasions, everybody's doing these like I call them YouTube builds, is what I call them. And it's basically you go on TikTok or YouTube Shorts and they give you like a 2-second tutorial on how to make like this broken build for PvP, and then that's all the builds you're seeing now. And it's like I miss the good old days when one invasion I'm running into a guy who's using uh, the Ring Knight Parent Ultra Great Swords, but like fat rolling the whole time. But then another fight, you can run into a guy with a broken straight sword, completely naked. You can't fucking touch him. You don't get that experience no more with Dark Souls 3. See, that one I would offer to play with you, but I got banned from the PC version of Dark Souls 3 because I was in offline mode. I wasn't even online on Steam, and I wanted to see what the max level was because I'd already put several hours into the PS3 version of it, or PS4. I don't remember when it came out. I think it's a PS4 game, but I put a lot of hours into it on the console, and so I was like, I am genuinely curious, like, how high can this fucking go? And I could have Googled it, sure, but I wanted to see for myself. And so I went offline. I made sure that I was offline. I was offline on Steam and everything. And then I used Cheat Engine to give myself enough souls to get me to the max level, which was like, I think 800 and something. And then I deleted the character, unattached Cheat Engine from it, and then went back online on Steam, and then it said I was banned from Dark Souls 3 servers. So I got banned for using something completely offline because it said it was detecting the information even though the character was already deleted. So I don't really know what happened there. I feel like I feel like it was a very intrusive situation because they shouldn't have been able to know that I had done anything. But so I got banned off of that. So I think there is like a seamless co-op mode for it, I think. And I don't know if that one you can do even if you're banned on the servers or not. It basically... I would love to get Elden Ring on PC. I just do not believe my laptop can handle it. I mean, it keeps going on sale enough. I mean... Oh, shit! Well... that kind of stuff happens sometimes, and not much you can do about it. Because I didn't touch the controller, and it fucking jerked me off the cliff. I was trying to find the way back down, and so I went to go to... Which one? There's a lot of them. would have to like actively go look in some of the areas because that doesn't sound familiar to me. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. I died again. I swear I'm good at this game. Doesn't seem like it, but I am good at this game. I died to some of the newbiest shit, but I swear I'm good. No, let me just grab the item. Let me just grab the item. Just grab. Oh my fucking god, this game. Okay, now grab the item that you are literally right in front of. Thank you. I would argue where Elden Ring suffers the most is the preciseness of everything. It expects so much perfect from like player input, but it clearly doesn't give you any of that perfection it's asking for. Because like, I have to be standing directly on top of the item to interact with it, but then the game won't stop. Like the game won't stop the horse when I let go of the analog, so I can't pick the thing up. And there are a lot of situations where stuff like that happens. That's why there's a lot of boss fights where you can like dodge out of an attack and still wind up getting hit because there's like a lingering hitbox to the hit. Which, to be fair, that's a trope that's been in gaming for a while. The lingering hitbox. That's something that you should always be prepared for in any game you're playing. But I feel like Elden Ring is a little bit more. I think it's just because it expects for like dodges and parries and stuff. It has to be literally frame perfect, and so it's like you expect perfection from me, but you clearly have your jank. But it's not enough to deter me from the game or like turn me off of the game. It's just something I notice as I spend more hours in it. It's why I always say I don't view it as a masterpiece, because a masterpiece, at least for me personally, would be something where the game would expect that level of perfect reaction from you, but then like every single interaction with every boss would be a perfect dance, where you getting hit was because you made a mistake in the movement, not because the boss janked out and hit you with a delayed hitbox or something. I know that that's asking a lot, and that's why I don't really expect it from most games. And what's that? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you meet Mike? They're quite the calmed outlets, were it not this?
Yeah, I kind of do. I kind of did the same when I first played this. I tried to go around and get all the map fragments.
Oh, right. He's been in this. He might be. So there's no call.
But like as far as NPCs go, like I didn't know where any of them were, so I failed a lot of quest lines my first couple of playthroughs.
They will never say just happens, but it's still a wreck.
I found that.
Mm-hmm.
He says the truth of his is evident.
Yeah, I respect that. I wish I was able to have that level of enjoyment with games, but I've been asked this by a lot of people. Like I've been asked, why do you react the way you do when a boss is beating you or when you're struggling with an enemy or something, and it's like, I mean, yeah, I'm perfectly fine admitting I have skill issues. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend I'm like this elite, perfect gamer who could do like everything perfect. But I feel when I'm having an experience where like Elden Ring specifically, it would be like the biggest offender in this regard. I feel like when I'm enjoying something and I'm really liking the interactions I'm having with everything, and then just all of a sudden, like, I'm now getting absolutely fucking shit on by everything that moves. It's like, for me, it feels like I'm getting robbed out of the experience, if that makes sense. Because, like, I was. Well, yeah, I mean. Yeah. Yeah, see that's how I am. The problem is that I get to a point where it's like I could stop and take a break to like take a breather, but then I'm gonna come back and I'm already like I already know I'm gonna be tilted with the enemy. And so if I leave and then come back, I'm still gonna be mad when I come back, so why not just get it out of the way while I'm super frustrated? Which is not the way that you should handle that, at all. Yeah, more worms. You definitely shouldn't handle rage like that because that's how you wind up getting a heart attack. Yeah. Yeah, it's like I said, it's hard for me to explain, but the reason why I get as upset as I do is just because like I want the game to do better. I want the game to feel better. I don't want to feel like I'm getting robbed out of experiences, even if it's my own fault that I'm getting robbed out of that experience, if that makes sense. I don't know, I gotta remember where it's safe to go, because if I go too far... Oh, well, okay. We should go walk Jazzy then. Alrighty. Okie dokie.